So in this video, drawing dynamic poses, I have 3 poses that I chose off of Pinterest. And this time I try to choose, 3 different ones. I think I have one in a Spider-Man pose, and I have one anime pose, and then this first one being a pose of someone punching. Because I wanted to have like at least one pose with some type of punching pose. 'Cause I know I've been getting a lot of different requests for having a lot of different fighting poses. So I chose this one. And with this one, I start off with the head. And because of the angle, you see how I added the nose in. And usually when I have the head at certain angles, I'll add a nose in. And it's kind of like you're just dropping in a triangle. And the triangle is when I add that, it kind of shows, the angle or position of the head when I'm drawing it in. That way I know where the head is positioned when I start adding in details and things like that. And right now adding in the shoulder. And since the shoulder is up towards the head, I kind of wanted to draw the shoulder in that way. I'm having it, the shoulder's kind of like he's punching forward, and I wanted to have the force of the shoulder going forward first before I start adding in all the other shapes for drawing the rest of the arm. And it's kind of an easier way for me to do that rather than drawing the body first. Sometimes I like to draw the shoulder first and then start drawing in the circle for the body. That way I kind of know, where the shoulder placements are. And since the neck, it's kind of like a little bit hidden, but not really. And the shoulder is kind of a way of me, just imprinting out the layout of where everything's going to go, and the force of everything especially when it's like an action pose. So now I'm drawing in the circle for the body, or like an oval shape, adding in the half oval shape for the waist. And I'm adding in the circle for the other shoulder. That way I'm kind of drawing that fist or boxing glove. And I'm adding in the lines where it's like this. It's the center line. It's the center line, but it's kind of like you see how I kind of like I added the center is kind of because the chest is facing forward, and so the center line is forward, but because the waist is turned to the side, that's why you see me at a center line, but I'm kind of just going down off the side. And the center line is kind of a way of knowing where to place, if where you're drawing the abs and things like that. And it's kind of a way of adding like that quick placement. That's why I always get the center line, because when you're showing twist movements, the center line is the best way for showing that. Because sometimes I'll have the circle there, and the waist, and sometimes that when the center line isn't there, it's hard to figure out that twist, or sometimes you can't even see the twist without the center line. So I like to add a center line, that way I know how to add that twist in there and drop in the rib cage and the abs and things like that. You see, I added in the little part for the lat is. Now for this one, I've been getting a lot of different requests to do another Spider-Man pose, so I found this one, and the guy is kind of like he's going down, he has his hand out, kind of like in this little stance. I mean, it doesn't really have to be Spider-Man. It can be some other superhero pose. It's just one of those superhero landing poses. And so I started out the usual way with the head, circle for the eyes. And I'm working in that circle for the body. And usually when you're drawing poses, depending on the position or angle of where the pose is, you can just draw the circle. And drawing the circle out is kind of a way of just you're jotting down quickly, and you're adding things as you go. Like you see, I just dropped a circle in there, and now I just added a circle for the shoulder, circle for the shoulder for the other side, and I'm adding in the neck area, the center line. Because you're finding these shapes out, you're drawing them in quickly, and that's kind of like the only real good tip that you can have for drawing these poses is just drawing a bunch of circles, and you're trying to get these shapes in as fast as possible. Because when you start to add detail, I mean, you already have all the shapes there, and you're breaking down all the poses. You're trying to figure out what these shapes are as you're breaking everything down. You're constructing a figure. You're just trying to figure out, the position of the body parts and where they the angle is going and where you're trying to go with it. And it's kind of a faster way. The more you do these shapes, the faster it is to do gestures. And gestures is a even quicker way of doing poses. But when you're doing gestures, since you've done so many shapes, you already know how the body will be placed in position, and it'll just come out real easy. I mean, usually when I'm drawing, different poses or characters, I'll do a lot of gestures, because gestures I can do those quickly within a few seconds to draw those, and I've done enough poses that I've broken down from shapes that I just have like I already have like a good muscle memory as far as where to draw, how to draw certain things. And even then, if it's something that's real hard to draw, I'll use one of my fingers to look at and see how it's positioned, or I'll look in the mirror and see my own body and how my body moves in a certain position and draw from there. And that's why even animators, when they were doing things like The Lion King, I know they had like I guess an animal trainer there with an actual lion sitting there where they can see the lion move and do things as they were drawing them, because you can't just draw something that you haven't seen before. If you've never seen a lion move, then how can you draw a lion move if you've never seen it? And that's kind of the things you need to do research when you're drawing certain things. You can't draw a person doing something that you've never seen before. You have to go look at it. And right now, I mean, we have Google. You can go on Google, look at it. You can go on Pinterest, look at it, and see the position of different poses and draw those poses. That way, when time comes where you may have to draw a sitting pose, but you've already drawn but 100 different sitting poses, so you already have this memory of drawing sitting poses because you've seen it before. You've drawn it 100 times, so you already know how to do it. So you can't. The best way to practice is drawing all the poses to get that memory. And the more you build that memory, the easier it gets for drawing poses and other different things. Sometimes when I'm drawing a head, if it's like one of my main serious pieces I'm doing, I'll draw the skull of the head first, and then I'll erase the skull and then start adding in details. Not the full skull, but it's more like a outline layout of a skull. That way I'll know how the where the eyes are, the nose, the mouth is going to be, how it's positioned, things like that. So it's always good to have a good knowledge of drawing shapes and skeletons and things like that. That way you know how the body moves and relates to each other. So right now I'm just darkening all the lines, finalizing everything, adding some small touches. Now I chose a anime pose because I wanted to get one that's kind of for shortening perspective. So I chose this one since has like the type of pose that you always see in anime with the top down view. And so started out with the head. The head is pretty big, and it kind of goes smaller gradually as it goes down. So I started with the head first, adding in circles for the eyes, adding that side area where the ear is going to be, adding in the neck. And the next go down. You see how I always add that neck as a one long stick, because you go in there, you can erase it just as you go. But no matter what area, what position that you have your head in, the neck will always go down as that little stick. And sometimes it's hidden, sometimes it's not, depending on the pose you're doing. You see, I'm adding in the center line. Trying to add a little depth to the shape of the chest by adding in that center line and then the line across. You see I added the waist, but I made it a little bit smaller. You get the hand, the arm, and the back that's hidden, kind of going down in his pockets. The other circle for the shoulder on the other side. The arm going down, little cylinder. Then another circle for the elbow. With the cylinder going down again for the forearm. And you see as I'm drawing it in, I'm trying to keep make sure my mind knows that everything is getting smaller as it goes down. I mean, or I could have added perspective lines going down, on both sides. That way, I could easily figure it out. But um, I've drawn perspective enough to kind of know how to make things bigger and smaller as you go by drawing them out. So I have the legs going down, the circle for the knees. I'm shaping everything out. I always make the shapes of the whole body almost as if I'm messing with like one of those, posing those little wooden dummies. I'm just finishing and darkening everything up. That's it for this video. You want to see more poses like this? Hit the like button, subscribe, comment for anything else you want to see. And take care.